I'm also Jennifer, and I've been friends with Meg for about 7 years, since she came down to my microscope facility to do some research at Harvard Medical School, and Meg and I became fast friends. We bonded through our sense of humor, through our love of politics, our shared pet peeves, our fierce dancing skills, which you'll all get to see later, and, I'm sorry to say at the time, our discontent with the opposite sex. In those years, we were both struggling to figure out if we were going to be as successful in our love lives as we were in our careers. We both went through long stretches with no man in sight, and even worse, we went through long stretches where we couldn't get the wrong man out of sight. I was going through some really rough times myself in the first few years of our friendship, and I can't imagine getting through it without Meg to lean on. Meg's optimism and zest for life helped me more than she will ever know. I will never forget one particularly hard week for me when Meg and I flew off to Mexico on a moment's notice. Lots of good stories from that trip, but I actually have to tell a story that feels relevant tonight. As was mentioned, Meg and I also share a love of WHMS, When Harry Met Sally, as do the other bridesmaids, and we watched it last night. And Meg and I went to New York City together, and we were visiting the Met. And we walked into one of the most grand rooms, if you've been there before, in the Egyptian section of the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And Meg said, "Wow, this is when Harry Met Sally was filmed." And I said, "Yes, and also there's an ancient Egyptian temple in here." Okay, so even though those first few years of our friendship were hard ones for me, they were also filled with many, many great memories because of my friendship with Meg. Meg, I'm so happy that you not only found a man who is as smart and funny and as kind as you are, but also wears cute shoes and the appropriate length of jeans. These are a couple of our shared pet peeves. So I was there the famous night when Meg and Mark's relationship began, and I can tell you that from that night on, they have been inseparable. Because after all, when you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you want the rest of your life to start right as soon as possible. Meg and Mark, may your love for one another bring you happiness for the rest of your lives.